time for a second favourite indie game of both of ours, actually. It is Journey. Oh yeah, I haven't been on Journey for absolutely ages, so it's nice we've got that trophy. This is from that game company.
They're very notorious for their indie darlings, aren't they?
Indie darlings, yes.
Indie darlings.
They also did a cool April Fool's prank last year, which is still my favourite April Fool's prank, and it was like Rocket Deathmatch in Journey. It was pretty funny to watch.
So that game company have remained exclusive to Sony over the past console life cycle. They released 3 games for PlayStation 3, but I believe they're developing.
They're not tied for them anymore.
They're developing a new game, and they're not tied to any specific company. So hopefully, more people will get to play that game company games, which is delightful.
Yeah. One thing is to be said though, they have moved Flower and Journey over to PlayStation 4. And the Vita, is Journey made it to the Vita, or is it just Flower?
I don't think Journey's made it to the Vita just yet.
No. But yeah, they are brilliant games. And if I've spoken about gaming to anyone, you can bet that I've said about this game.
I mean, it's a beautiful spectacle, but I remember when I first told you about it, you weren't really that convinced.
Didn't get it, did I?
You didn't really get it, but then you decided to just pick it up one day. And
well, no, like, what happened was I started playing Flower, didn't I?
Oh yeah, that was it.
Absolutely in love with that. Flower is a game we fall in love with modern gaming.
You control the camera with the 6-axis.
I mean, look at that. Just look at it. No, I can't jump yet. I don't have any kind of scarf.
No.
This game is just so perfect. I don't know if at any point I'll meet up with anyone, but the co-op in this game is what makes it so bloody brilliant.
And as you can tell, there is your destination.
It's so many games to me are ruined by their online element and like their co-op play. But this is just spot on. It's everything you need. You can see that's the font we use for all our videos, all our intros and everything like that. So that's how much of an influence it has over us.
The thing is with multiplayer games nowadays, especially when games are released primarily for their single player campaign, like Dead Space, like Assassin's Creed, maybe even Mass Effect, it seems like the multiplayer is just kind of tacked on, albeit the multiplayer experience could be enjoyable.
Some people prefer that,
yeah,
the competitive side.
Great, but then, I don't know, it's, there's too many multiplayer games that are just competitive, that are just like in it to win it kind of thing, but when you jump into this, you'll meet up with a character.
It's unknown as well, you don't know who you're playing with until you finish.
Yeah, and basically you just travel with them. And if they're experienced travellers, then they'll show you where scarf pieces are, which...
yeah, this is the first introduction of the scarf, isn't it? This is what helps you to jump and float and things like that. See?
And those floaty things restore your scarf as well.
So if you bump into new ones, you always have to pick them up. It'll extend your scarf, which means you can jump for longer.
So, like I was saying, if you start playing with somebody online who's played the game a few times, which is quite often, the game's been out for almost 2 years now, I imagine. So people will show you where scarf pieces are and other hidden
gems,
bits and bats.
There's the like the visual things, isn't there? There's the I can't remember what they call them. They're just
like
the massive pictures.
Something. Yeah.
This is one of the hidden panels we were saying about. You can just see it's like that's a traveller, I guess.
Got recommended to play Flower, but I didn't really pick it up. But then I believe it might have been Gamescom or some kind of game conference where this game got shown, and I was like, whoa, that is beautiful. I have to play it. And I downloaded it on day one, and then
You just see what you're missing out on, don't you?
Yeah, I downloaded Flow shortly after that, and then we downloaded Flower when we got together, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when did we get together with that?
That was 2012,
yeah.
so the year this came out. That's quite wonderful, isn't it?
It is, yes. I mean, before meeting Dan, I didn't have a PlayStation 3. I still don't. This is Dan's. God, that sounds like I'm claiming ownership to it. It's not mine. Never has been.
I don't think it matters particularly or not whether you had a console, but it was just like people kind of get this impression of video games to be very, very what's the word I'm after? Like testosterone driven, like
Yeah.
all action, all fast paced, all blood kind of splattering in your face and whatnot. And albeit some of those games can be very entertaining, it's very nice and refreshing to experience something like this every now and then. And oh, you teleport to a new area.
Okay. Might as well.
So yeah, I imagine that was your impression of video games. Like when I met you, was that you thought the majority of people who play games just played bloodless games.
This is actually near the end of the game. You can see it gets a lot harder throughout the game. Look at the scarf pieces are all frozen. You're getting covered in frost. And it's just very difficult. So there is like a danger element to this at some point. There's this huge enemy that comes swarming through the snow and through the sand in this underground tunnel.
It gets very scary.
See? That thing you do not want to be spotted by.
If you get hit by it, then you lose half of your scarf pieces, is that correct?
You lose some amount of your scarf pieces. I think maybe it's whatever it hits of you. Like wherever it cuts off your scarf. Which is the only thing that does actually scare me in this game. A lot of games, like as you'll notice from seeing us play Left 4 Dead, I can't play just because it's so terrifying. Also, you'll realise that even if you fill up your scarf, because it's so cold, it just goes away so quickly.
You can watch it train, it's quite frightening.
And yeah, usually, as I say, you'd have a buddy with you to play this, but I suppose the server's not as busy as they used to be, just it's been out for a while. Yeah, look at my cloak now.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna stop it here. Just because I don't want to ruin this game too much for you. But you can see that it's just so beautiful and so perfect. Also, you have to time your runs really well up here because you have to try and hide behind these before the next massive gust of wind comes to try and push you back. See? But yeah, the ending is so perfect. Again, not ruining anything for you, but it did make me cry. It's the only game that's nearly brought you to tears as well, I think. One off. So yeah, we'll leave that there for you to experience yourself some other time. Hopefully we'll convince you to try out a different kind